Hello, hello. Hey, Jost. Hey, Pillar. Hey, Sinistello. Only one can be first, and it is Jost. And hey, Race. All right. So this morning, I didn't even fill out the journal. This morning, we got done with some of the issues, and then I play tested, and it went pretty well. Sick. Thanks for the resub. Happy 5/6 of a year. Yeah, the playtest went pretty well this morning, although I got done in like 2 hours, and I think it's a little bit fast. I'm hoping it takes real players like 4 hours to do. I don't know. We'll see. I've always kind of said the same thing at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter how long your game is if people find it fun and feel that it was worth the money. So if you make a $50 game and you get 1,000 hours of playtime, or if you make a $5 game and you get, I don't know, probably like 3 hours of playtime or something like that, both of these can be fine. It's not like there's a problem with the duration. I think with Steam, practically, there's a problem if you're a little less than 2 hours because people will play your whole game and then just refund it. But I don't think you should do any like tricks to work around this. I think it's just make your game as fun as possible. Hope that people play it. I think the other practical aspect, though, is I guess streamers will probably want to stream a game for longer than just one session. Anyway, we'll find out how all this stuff works. Yeah, is Athletics. Hey, Carl. Let's see if we can make it through. So worked on issues, like play tested, and worked on issues that arose during playtesting. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. All right. So I wrote down a bunch of things. Bug, tip about leveling doesn't go away if you level up too quickly. Let's go take a look at all this stuff. Just want to blitz through all of this. Where's the leveling thing? Spend sludge. Here it is. Spend sludge tip. So when you unlock the chef, wisdom sludge changed. Has enough. Totals greater than or equal to level up costs and has spent sludge is that the delta goes down. Why did I do this? Why don't I just have a level up event? Leveled up, level up adventurer, stack computation level up. Yeah, there's no event for this. Kind of strange. What calls this? Something else calls this hype train from one subscriber. Hey, Arlen. Typoed spec says Pex and was disappointed in a command response about how ripped you are. When did this happen? Oh, there was a bunch of text while I was at lunch. Let me read this really fast. Okay. You could say I'm an influencer. You are. You're a trendsetter. So yeah, what calls this? This thing does. Maybe I don't care about this, but maybe I do. But I'm still not totally sure how this could go wrong. We check to see if the delta is less than 0, meaning you spent some. And if you've spent it, then it's met the condition of close. Oh, we haven't met the condition to show it yet? Is that why? Because we haven't ever gotten enough sludge? Wait, no, that shouldn't be possible, right? Oh, because you don't currently have enough. But yeah, I don't think that's needed. I'm not totally sure how this could have happened. I kind of want to try it again. Let's save my save file off. So cp save.json beat entire game.json. Is this even worth figuring out? I don't think this is worth figuring out. I am curious, but I think this is kind of an academic endeavor at this point. Yeah, let's take a look at least. Hazmat conditions to close. If it doesn't contain this, no, but it's shown. I know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. How long does it take for you to beat the game right now? It took me about 2 hours when I just tested this morning. Now, granted, that's with me knowing kind of all the little quirks about the game and Like what strategies I should use to maximize things and which perks are probably worth getting. So I expect probably it'll take regular players close to double that amount, meaning there will be about 4 hours of gameplay for story mode. I think that's fine. I'm so torn on this. I'm so torn. I guess we should figure this out. So it's when you unlock the chef slime, which means I need to have a save file where we get to this point, but we haven't shown the tip yet. I guess let's just cheat our way there. Did you decide what price range you'll target? I think it's going to be $15. Yeah. I don't think people would pay $20 for it, which is why I think 15 is a good idea. And I think 10 would be too little for how long it took to make. Outrageous. I won't buy it, sir. I hope you don't buy this game, Kevin. I hope you allow me to give you a key. How's it going, Kevin? Hype train, you say? Hey, who cares? $15 for 4 hours-ish of entertainment isn't bad if it's on. Well, remember, that's just story mode. So story mode is about 4 hours. Then you unlock bone mode. And that's also about probably like, I don't know, 4 to 8 hours or something. Thanks for gifting the sub. Who cares? Welcome, Christopher. Hey, Leap Year Girl. I'm glad you got the snacks. Yeah, I hope you remember to dress warmly tomorrow. I still haven't really needed to try out my heated gloves too much. It's been really nice weather here. So I've just used my regular gloves. All right, so I started the game. I want to build the farm and then get 4 carrots and then save. Wait, no, save like that. Quit. Set this back to debug mode or off debug mode and then load, click the carrot and then level up the adventurer immediately, I guess. And then figure out what's going on. It's a bit chilly, but yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah, I just mean it hasn't been like need heated gloves level of coldness. So I click level up. Now what happens? Oh, wait. Oh, no. I don't care about that. Come on. Come on. Show me the other tips. Come on. I think it's going to tell me about leveling up an adventurer. I'm not actually sure. Maybe it won't. Maybe. Oh, there it is. No, that's you have enough to hire an adventurer. Okay, I don't care about that. Heated gloves. So my problem is when it does get pretty chilly, my hands get cold too quickly. And even when I'm wearing pretty thick gloves, it's still bad. So I thought, you know what? We've solved this with technology. Let me rely on technology. Main problem is I need special shoes tomorrow because I need to stand outside the studio to wait. No seats or anything. Can't stand a long time anymore, but that special shoe is like a sandal, so it's open. Ah, you should get heated shoes. Actually, they do have hand warmers. Huh, that's interesting. They do have hand warmers. I guess you could just buy some of those. That might help. I already have over 50 hours played, and that is very generous of you. But I don't think I can rely on the average player having that much. Hey, player. All right, well, this isn't happening. I'm just going to ignore this. Yeah. I'll say update. This isn't really important. It went away when I leveled up the next adventurer. So yeah, who cares? I couldn't figure this out fast enough. All right, let's go revert that. So this is manifesting that all of these are rare. And hopefully I did this correctly. If I search for item ID in this file, I think... No, this won't work. I need to search for it like this, and then I'll find them all. And even then it won't work. Okay, so we need to look at the rare ones here, which are all of these. And I think we're good. These were already manifested, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I add 5 of these? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4. What? Red feather. What am I missing? That's the red feather, yeah. So red feather is done. Leather pants, Yeti blood. Enchantress's cloak, that's there. Leather pants. Oh, wait, Yeti blood. No, wait, no. Huh, what is going on here? Yeti blood was already. Oh, right, I copy pasted that one from before. Okay, that's why. All right, yeah, this is done now. All right, so manifest, mark boss items as rare. Without this, customers would desire them, even though they would be very hard to acquire again. Then this is fix bug with signs. The treasure stuff wouldn't show unless you were on a debug build. When we get to pruning the demo, I've got to make sure the treasure room does not show. I've also probably, I don't know, I got to do a bunch of stuff. Sure the treasure room can't show up. It should be impossible just based on how many bosses are in the game. There was something else I wanted to do too, and I don't remember what it was. I'd like to have the repeat elite. No, that's not possible either, is it? I don't know yet. 2 errors about being out of bounds. I don't know. I got to figure that out. That's on my list. All right, when you haven't unlocked the location and hover over it, you see the level and number of adventurers for the regular battle, even if there's a boss battle. This may make players less likely to upgrade the portal. Beat the prior location to unlock this one, yeah. So it's using the wrong information here. Force boss text. Oh boy. Okay, how do we do that? Is boss showing? This is kind of what makes me wonder, should we just show the boss ahead of time? I wonder what that would look like. Let's take a look. Boss graphic dot visible. Set boss graphic visible. Where do we do this? Instance map. Has beaten elite before, is in challenge mode. This won't work. Huh. We need it to be unlocked. Yeah, it's only when you unlock it. So maybe we don't do it that way. When you unlock. Wait a second. Yeah, latest instance ID. We need the latest next instance ID. Okay, I see. So I need to do something like that. Instance data, or I guess battle map location data. Location data is get this. And then instance ID, next instance ID. If it's none, then do nothing. Otherwise, use that in here. All right, let's try it. I don't know what this is going to look like. So I think now, as soon as you are in the forest, we should see the ogre show up over the canyon. And then, yeah, every time you're before the next location, you'll see this show up. I almost certainly broke this. Yeah, I almost certainly broke this. Yeah, it's already not working. Because you need to unlock a location first. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. So it'll show you the one for the next location, but only in one case. I gotta fix this. So when I hit unlock over here, we'll see the dragon show up. Yeah, so I like this idea, I think, of showing this boss there. But then once we beat this battle, I think it's going to stop showing them. Well, it didn't stop showing them, but I guess it doesn't really work the way I expected. Yeah, I don't like this anymore. Okay, well, let's just get rid of this code then. But the thing that I do need to think of is the is boss showing. Where is that? Hey, Solo, welcome back. Humble Bundle I was in sold 1,050 copies. So that should be some nice pocket change. Still no clue how much. You would be able to figure out, they usually tell you the average selling price, right, for Humble Bundles. I guess you don't know what your revenue share might be, maybe. So they might have pulled in, let's say, $10,000 or something. And if you're 1/5 of that, maybe you get 10%, I guess. This is me just estimating. I bet you get $1,000. But still, that's pretty great. I wonder if you get any feedback from people now in the next maybe few months about like, hey, I checked out what you did. I really like it. Because that'd be cool. That's like the gift that keeps on giving. So is boss showing? I want to do this. If you haven't even unlocked the location yet, force boss text equals, we didn't even know what. Oh, this is for one marker, which means we have no information here. Based on it. Oh, this might know about it. Yeah, this knows the instance ID. And it has the instance map. Yeah. So we could check to see if this has been unlocked yet. Instance map dot unlocked. If it doesn't contain this and it's elite, I think we just do this. If you haven't unlocked a location yet, only ever show the boss information if there is a boss. That way players don't see a higher than normal recommended level, since the regular battles recommended level would be showing instead in that case. All right, I'm going to try this. You did the math? Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how much they give out for that. Like I said, if you're 1/5 of the bundle or something, which I don't know what you are, but if you were, I wouldn't expect them to give you 1/5 of the money because they need to take some too. So I pictured it'd be about half of that. But yeah, who knows? Did they ever email you, by the way? Did they ever tell you like, hey, you're in this bundle? Oh, it's already broke. Is it because we're trying to access something that doesn't exist? Yeah, we are. I didn't think I'd have to do that. Oh, I guess if not force boss text. And it is not beaten and it has a boss. All instance data dot get instance ID is elite. There's no get? What? That's called location data? I should probably put this inside of a function. Yeah, there should just be a has unlocked and nothing outside of this should need to use it. Reply was, oh, don't worry about it. What a confidence-inspiring response. Okay, I mean, so far so good. What does this say now? Level 1, Max Adventurers 2. Perfect. So we unlock this. Still says level 1 Max Adventurers 2. Good. Now we fight and win. And now it says level 2 Max Adventurers 4. Okie dokie. I like that. And what about the force boss text thing? can only fight it once. Unless we do... no, we can't do that. Oh, man. All right. How do we cheat our way through this one? Like this. And then that and that. And that and that and that and that. All right, we did it. Now what? Does it work? Nice. Yeah, cool. If you haven't unlocked a boss location yet, show the boss information in the tooltip. That way players don't see a higher than normal recommended level. Yeah. What I have for lunch? It was some like chicken and quinoa and vegetables. I've been getting these pre-made meals delivered. I don't think they're very healthy. Even the healthier ones aren't really all that healthy. So I want to stop that for a bit now. So I think that was the last one that I had. Man, a lot of these meal delivery services, they charge just to approximate. It's like $11 or $12 maybe per meal. And if this were a restaurant, like that wouldn't be that bad. But it's not a restaurant. And then they have these like sign up things that say, oh, 50% off, or they're usually some crazy amount. Well, once you bring this down to about $6 per meal, that's actually not too terribly bad. Like, yes, you can cook and you can make the food for way cheaper than that yourself. But if you're not going to cook, $6 per meal, yeah, pretty decent. So you sort of just exploit the sign up bonuses and then stop using them for a while. So I've probably used these services for a total of like 4 weeks in my life. And each time it was super cheap. I can't imagine being on it for an entire year or something, though. Hey, Mystical Cell. I'll be cooking that up after work. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Look at the total cost of books in the bundle. Calculated percent my book's price was. Downscaled that to the bundle. Yep. Yeah, hey, Tabledore. Signed up for 50% off like a dozen times at least. Yeah, and I think those are the kinds of prices that make sense if you're just going to be a tourist through the service. It's like we've had a Netflix subscription for a while now, and I do watch movies and TV shows from time to time, but I don't feel like I watch it enough to justify what it's like $18 a month or something. I don't think I watch it that much. Like I don't value my Netflix watching at $18 a month. There are other things like I have YouTube Premium. I value my YouTube Premium at whatever I'm paying for it. I watch a lot of YouTube. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, I want to feel like I'm getting the value out of these services that I have. Now, Netflix is a little weird because my wife has an account too, and I don't know how much she watches. So it's like the combination of the two of us needs to get the value out of it. I spend way more than that per meal. I'm very bad at saving. Do you see it as a real problem? Back in Spain, I was getting meals from a company for €5 each, and I was really happy with them. Yeah. Other countries are just totally different about this stuff, and it all depends on. Well, it depends on a lot of things. Because I was going to say in India, it's like even way cheaper to get anything delivered or to get meals. When we went to breakfast and we paid like $1 or something, I was like, what? It might have been $2. I don't remember exactly. And this was years ago. But still, back in the US, you would not be able to get a breakfast for $2. They wouldn't even probably seat you at a table if you're like, I have $2. What can you give me? I don't think you can get coffee for that much. All right, so this fixes this problem. I'm pretty happy with this. Show boss tooltip before unlocking location. Before this, the recommended level would be for the regular battle, which is typically higher than the boss battle. I didn't want that to dissuade players from unlocking a new location. They may think they're underleveled. All right, the next thing I want to do is go swap this out. I think this looks terrible. And actually, if we just search for this part, yeah, we find that they all come from here. So this should just be its own thing. So do we ever make a function out of this? Nope. Well, we're going to go replace 6 instances with this. it should be dead simple. Public bool has unlocked location. Instance ID. Done. Now we just spell it with the right number of Ks. Property should not follow a method. We put this down here somewhere. Actually, I want to put this even lower if it's just going to look like that. And then we just use the function everywhere that we would have done this. Yeah. There we go. Okay. That cleans this up a little bit. And now we could make unlocked, whatever that is. What is that called? This thing. We can make this private, I believe. Like totally private. Wait, that's not what I want, is it? What? How does this work? I guess we move this somewhere. Whoop. And then we technically rename it now so that it's underscore unlocked. Yeah, so that's going to change a whole bunch of code superficially. And now why is this yellow? Event should not follow a property. This isn't really a property anymore, is it? Can we say that this is read-only now? Why is this yellow? Should be for non-read-only fields. God, you can never do this right. All right, but that should build. It was a grog. Tried a few services, but even though they were delivered in cold packaging, they didn't do well in the floor heat. Yeah, so we don't have the temperature problem here. They were always delivered fine for me, which, like I said, it wasn't very many times. I don't see the fact of not saving as a problem. That's a conscious choice, but overspending on food is probably a problem. Yeah, I think there are different levels. Like if you just put it in the high level categories, I think the cheapest is always going to be cooking in bulk. And then the most expensive is going to be like a restaurant for every meal. So yeah, somewhere in between there's like cooking service, there's meal service. So this is like they send ingredients. This is they send a pre-made meal. And then I don't know what else. There's probably other things you could do on here. But yeah, in terms of just these four categories of like you cook, they send you things that you cook, they send you a meal, or you just go out and buy a meal from a restaurant. So yeah, I think some amount of like, I guess cooking not in bulk is above cooking in bulk. Yeah, some amount of meal prep I think is generally a good idea if you did want to save. Just some amount of cooking would be a good idea. Personal chef. Yeah, that's true. That's at the high end. I think that'd be super cool. Prices are also very different. Like I get Amazon Prime for €5. Yeah. €5 for a normal meal and 6 for a bit more fancy. Wow. Yeah, that's not too bad. Here it was like 12 for a regular meal and like 17 for the fancier one. And what they consider fancy is like very low bar. So a lot of the meals were $5 more, I think. Started the 20 game challenge and realized I don't know that much about game development. No, but that's what's great. If you're starting it, then you're starting with Pong. I think just kind of going and downloading Godot or Unity or something and figuring out like, okay, how do I put a sprite on the screen? And then how do I control it with the keyboard? Those are the first two things you have to do. And that's the foundation of pretty much any game you're ever going to make is like, I need something to show on the screen. And I need some input for there to be. Otherwise, if you don't have input, it's pretty much just a movie. If you don't have anything on the screen, it still could be a game. But most people expect there to be visuals in a game. So yeah, the starting tutorials for whatever games you would make, which typically wouldn't have been Pong, will still work for Pong. So I do suggest whatever engine you're using, try the getting started guide and then think like, how would I use this for Pong afterward? Once you have these two things, in general, I think the game logic of Pong is somewhat easy. I don't want to trivialize it for people who are new to game dev. It might seem more difficult, but at least in terms of writing it out on paper, it's like you press up, you move up unless you're already at the top. You press down, you move down unless you're already at the bottom, and then the ball moves on its own. And the most basic form of Pong, I guess you could really make here is an arena that looks like this. And then you have a paddle here and it can move up and down. And that way you don't even need an enemy player or anything like that. Like normally you'd have a paddle here too, and this would be open. I can't draw this properly, but yeah. And normally you'd move this up and down as well, but you could just omit that. And it's like playing tennis up against a wall. And with that simplification, you'd have cut down all the things you need to do for making your first game. Any opinions on naming conventions in C? Not really, no. I think it's pretty much just match the code base of whatever you're doing. And if you don't have a code base yet, then maybe look through some naming conventions and see which one seems the best to you. Or if you know you're going to work with a team, talk to the team about it. That's about it. Yeah, this aspect of buying things and having it be more convenient because of the location. I always think of this when it comes to airports. It's like if you buy a pack of M&Ms or something at a grocery store, it might be whatever, somewhere in the $1 to $3 range, depending on the size of M&Ms you get. But in the airport, it's going to be like at least $6. They're going to have some crazy markup. Hey, noob. And hey, Saqwer, how do you pronounce your name? SAQW3R. Okay, so we have one problem here, and it's this. And this is because the battle panel tab saves what the instance map has. I don't care enough to do anything about that then. So yeah, let's just put this back to what it was. There. And then set this back to what it was too. Yeah, that should work. Hoping for a different answer. That's probably just the valid one. Well, I mean, there's no... the thing about naming conventions is there's no best. It's all opinion. Like, do you capitalize this? Do you lowercase that? Do you put underscores here? It's just pretty much what do you prefer? What's easiest to type? Those sorts of things. I need this to be exactly where it was. I don't know where it was. But it wasn't there. So we revert this. Yeah, revert and revert. Yeah, I think once you get to actual coding, there will be times when there is a best answer. If you're like, okay, I have a list of 15 random elements, what's the best way to sort them in terms of time? Like, there will be a best answer there. Or in terms of space, or I've got 50 million things, or they're mostly ordered, what do I use? But yeah, naming conventions, I don't think you're going to find something where it's like, this is the best. All right, so this just checks to see if something's unlocked. So yeah, here, this is already working. Pretty good. Okay. So this is just make a convenience function, which wasn't even on my to-do list. Make has unlocked location. This is just so that battle map marker doesn't need to keep dipping into the internals of instance map. All right, what next? So this is done. I think you should get the enchanter after the dragon. It's not very interesting to get a weapon shop when you probably won't get the weapons without leveling up a bit first. This will speed up the game if I do this, though. Maybe we should just make it cost more than it currently does. I know a little game dev. Pong is pretty straightforward. I got 2 players. I'm working on a win condition and resetting the game. Oh, I see. Okay. Maybe I misunderstood. Let me read your message again. I think you're just not giving yourself enough credit. It sounds like you're doing just fine. I don't think you can say I don't know that much about game development. Yeah, you're learning here. Yeah. I've seen like hundreds of different approaches and done with none made me think this is the way to go. I just hate having to add those prefixes like module name, blah, blah function. There's no other way in C, I think. If you've seen a bunch of naming conventions and none of them resonated with you, then I mean, it leads me to conclude one of several things. Either one, you haven't actually seen a bunch of naming conventions, or not enough different ones. 2, you're very picky. By the way, none of this is intended to sound super critical. Yeah. Let's do things. If hundreds of different approaches seemed bad, it's like something probably needs to seem at least decent. I don't think anything needs to be perfect, but there are going to be pros and cons, and ideally the pros outweigh the cons for any of them. But at this point, in this day and age, when you're mostly using IDEs to code, or at least something with auto-completion, I think that variable name length doesn't matter too much anymore. Like, you might find something where it says, like, I don't know, animal. I was going to come up with some super long name. It doesn't matter. Anyway, you might have some super long name, and having your IDE type it out for you doesn't mean you have to type the whole name every single time. You might type like 4 characters or something. So I guess it's just like what's easiest for you to look at. And even that's probably pretty subjective. Yeah. Okay, so what's next here? We would change this. We'd change my progression reference as well. So right now, Dragon unlocks the weapon shop. I'm torn on this. How long did it take me to beat the crypt in my playthrough? The dragon was 22 minutes, and I didn't write how long it took to beat the crypt. Let me think about this. Yeah, let me think about this some more. Deep Force wouldn't have given you anything. There wouldn't even be a boss there. So then when you get to the volcano and you finally do beat the dragon, should you get the enchanter then? Because if we do move the enchanter, one of these has to give 1 building, because we only have 3 buildings. So one of them's got to have 2 and the other one's got to have 1. We're not going to do 3 and 0. We could swap the weapon shop and the enchanter and have it still be 1 and then 2. And then the dragon doesn't give you, none of the volcano gives you any weapons, I guess. I don't know. Let's just move this. Try to learn the app or book says you need to use either snake case or camel case or something like that. You'll get an error in those apps if you don't use what they say you should, or am I misunderstanding? So naming conventions don't cause errors. Otherwise, they're not conventions. So if you have, let's say, like string, I don't know, person name, you can write this any number of ways. You can write it like that. You can write it like that. You can write it like that. You can write it like, whoops, that, and any other number. Some people have, there's a Hungarian notation where you put the name of the, or the type of the variable in the name here. So there are tons of different ways. You could mix and match these if you want. In fact, this, as written, is already valid C# code. It'll probably warn you that some of these things are not the convention that C# follows by default, but you could always turn those things off if you want. So I guess what I'm trying to say is they won't be errors in most languages, but that doesn't mean you should mix and match them anyway, because the naming convention lends meaning to some of the names. So typically, like, all caps might be a constant in some language, and lowercase might be a local variable. And then, yeah, some languages might be case sensitive, but then it's not a convention. Then it's a requirement. Hey, just a half. Oh, and hey, Sully. 2 minutes late. That seems to be my response time for this. All right, so I think let's try it. Let's put the enchanter here and let's just see what happens. So now I got to go change a whole bunch of stuff. Tip strings. When you beat the volcano, it says the weapon shop and the enchanter are now available. And then here it will say the fishing pond is now available. And then we got to go change signs to change which ones show up. Show weapon shop. So second boss is going to add in the enchanter. Done. Where can we get the hoodie? I think if you search Amazon for Skeleseller hoodie, you should find it. The merch link doesn't have it because it's really hard to link it for a bunch of different countries. Yeah, convention is not equal to a requirement. Exactly. Yep. Yep. I mean, lack of C encapsulation is one thing, but then you often have to pass structs, which have those ugly prefixes, which act like module encapsulation. Then you have the hardware abstraction layer. Yeah. I think some of this stuff is just part and parcel with working in a particular domain or industry. It's like if you were talking about game dev, you'd talk about your rendering engine and you talk about your physics engine and you talk about, I don't know, maybe your networking that you have and then the assets themselves and everything else. And all of these might come with their own headaches that you have. And yeah, if you're in the embedded space, it's like, well, you're dealing with hardware. So you probably are more tightly controlling your entire software stack to control for performance or security or just uptime or battery use. And it's like, if you want to be an embedded engineer, you've got to like those sorts of things, I guess. Just like if you want to be a game dev, you've got to like some of these sorts of things. All right, so now we have this so that you get the enchanters sooner. I will maybe be able to test this, but I need to save and load because I'm on a debug build. Let me try this. So if I just save and load right now, all these signs should go away. And the only ones that should be left, well, would be the garbage sign, but it's not showing because I haven't lost an item. So we go fight a battle. We win this. We do that. We do that. We do that. And then we win this one. And now the buildings menu should have 4 new buildings there. Perfect. Then we fight the regular battle. And nothing's going to change. We go over to, oops. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally right-clicked instead of left-clicked. And right-click is a debug thing that unlocks every location all at once. Well, let's rewind to the beginning of the game. Let's just speed this up this time. All right, I'll turn on invincibility. We'll do this again. Come on. Yeah, great. All right, so left-click this. I need enough money. I'm just waiting. Give me the money. Wait, I have enough money. Oh, I haven't beaten the regular location. Yeah, my bad. All right, beat that. And then over here, so now when we beat the dragon, we should see the enchanter show up. I don't know if invincibility is on or not, but there we go. Enchanter's Den, perfect. Okay. Hey, JD. No, not playing through the game again. Just fixing up the stuff from my first playthrough. Yeah. Hey, just Cavino. Wait, that's like the first time I called you just Cavino. I always call you Cavino. Would you be opposed to us adding an ad for Skeleseller in our latest game, Hand of Good? No, I'm not opposed to it. I cannot promise reciprocity, though. There could potentially be like an NPC line that's rare that is a reference to your game. Yeah. It's a one-way marketing street. We don't want anything in return. The Cavino hive mind has spoken. Well, thank you. Yeah. And yeah, I think it'd be cool. If you need any assets, let me know. And thanks for asking. Nice to see you. Keep it moving. Nothing to see here. Just the man with his hand out. Okay, so allow unlocking enchanter earlier. Should I change the cost of it? Enchanter cost is 150. What do I want? I think we should just change the cost of some of the perks. So let's not do any of this for right now. So this is back to being correct. Enchanter. Yep. Okay, yeah, I think so. It just felt like there wasn't much new stuff after beating the second boss. I don't want you to upgrade this too much yet, though. We buy billboard spots in Skeleseller. Imagine if you beat the first boss, you get like 4 cool new buildings. You beat the second boss, you get 3 cool new buildings. Then you beat the third boss, and it's just ad space. It's just you put up different billboards, and they don't do anything for your town. A bunch of products you don't care about. With your current experience, do you think if capital allowed you to divert X $1,000 of paid marketing to QA dollars to streamline some of this bug testing you're doing? No, I don't think so. However, I do think that playtesting for feel is still important. So I might pay playtesters to try the game, but I don't think for this sort of thing it would be very important. This is still just normal game dev in my mind. Your ad could have been here. You too can be a skeleton. Lower the cost of the 5th adventurer by a bit. 250 is quite a lot. 150, 175 would be reasonable. Where's 250 in here? Here it is. So I said 175, but then it jumps from there to double that amount. I think we should lower all of these. I just don't know by how much. How about this? What did we just change? We did 250, 175. Okay, 175 divided by 250 is 0.7. So how about we just multiply all of these by 0.7 and then round up to the nearest 25? So we'll do times 0.7. So this will be 250 as well. How's that possible? What did I used to say? Oh, I never actually changed this one. Oh, that was supposed to be 175. Okay, yeah. So now the next one's 250. And then 280. Yeah, sure, whatever. It doesn't need to be multiples of 25. That's pretty good. Okay. So lower later adventurer cost. I actually also, I'm not going to go crazy about this. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. The 5th and beyond are 70% cheaper now. All right, done. More mana doesn't cost enough. Let's go to perk constants. More mana. I think it's called mana crystal. Yeah, it's called mana crystal. So the cheapest enchanter perks are 100. And I'm saying I think that's too little. All right, let's start by just making these 150. But I still want to look at these for a little bit longer. So customer spell. I think these are ones you get toward the end just because there's nothing better to get. This should probably be more expensive. Oh, whoops, yeah, 30% cheaper. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Let me undo this. Undo last commit. Thank you. Okay, so I want these to be more expensive, especially because you're going to get them after the dragon now. And I don't want this to be unreasonably expensive. 150 is probably good. But then I think I want to raise these by a little bit. Entropic magic is just kind of crazy. In fact, you know what? Maybe we should add another level to this. I didn't think about that. Let's not do anything about that for now. Hey, Boim. How goes it? Did you reach out to that contact I gave you? There are points. Yes, that's right. And now you're somewhere on this list. Oh, I think it's alphabetical order within a threshold of people. So like at the 1 point threshold. So you show up like halfway in between. Despite being added last, most recently. Any other things I want to change here? I think that's probably pretty good. This should just like slightly make them more expensive. Make enchanter perks slightly more expensive. Okay. Newest tips that I added need different conditions for going away. Upgrading the town hall or building the treasure room. Did they really say they don't handle those types of things? Because if so, that's too bad. Yeah, my friend, I don't remember what I told you exactly, but in short, and I'm trying to keep this as vague as possible so that I don't share any of your personal information. But in short, my friend said that the person they used doesn't operate in this state anymore. So, yeah, that other contact is, I guess, someone they hadn't actually worked with. So I'm sorry about that, but hopefully you can find somebody. I get it on this. Oh, well, there. You just leaked all your own personal information. Think there are fire insurance lawyers I could look into? Yeah, there probably are. I think everything to do with insurance just sounds like a giant pain. Sounds like a secret code word. Well, now I just verified it. So I don't know who's digging themselves into a hole right now. But yeah, just the very nature of insurance is pay in case something bad happens. Obviously, hope the bad thing doesn't happen. But then if it does, you hope that it pays off based on your investment. And the problem is most insurance companies take exception to this part. Like, yeah, you paid us money, but here's why it didn't count, or why we're not going to pay you as much as we should, or why you had to fight us for it. It's, yeah, just such a shame. What if community members or some of the people who help you out add things to the game as a surprise for you? So the next time you play, you get surprised and can be extra happy? Add things in the game as a surprise. You mean like the people who have code access? Like the coders will just add things directly? So I think there are ways you could do this with maybe bigger games or bigger teams where it is kind of fun and exciting. But we have such a small team here, and reviewing code is just naturally expected. So no one has access to commit without me somehow reviewing it. So I'd have to know that I'd see something like surprise for Adam, don't review in my email. And I'd have to be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just accept this. And it could be anything. So how do I know they didn't get hacked and they are putting some malicious thing in the code base? But the way I was saying that people could do this is, let's say you had a game like World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is it's such a large game, and there's so many like quests and characters and everything else. And they have so many different models in the game now that you could probably add a new character that has whatever, like a red shirt and I don't know, denim pants or something like that. And you call them Mario and you have them say something like, I can't wait to rescue Peach or whatever. And it's like, someone doesn't need to have access to the main code to do that sort of thing. They just need to write a quest. And probably the people reviewing it are isolated in their own little team. And yeah, then it could surprise the person who's sort of running the game. Sure, we get a fair price. $50, no questions asked. Also, I think I'm going, huh. Huh, indeed. It's a me, Thrall. Da 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 da. You can drag Thrall's face to the side and hold his cheeks out, make his eyebrows go way off his head. Actually, a lot of speedrunning games nowadays, they'll have some kind of ROM hack where they'll let you customize the sprites in the game. I wonder if anyone's used any like Warcraft models for any of that stuff. I frequently see other pixel art games. I wonder if someone's put Thrall in instead of like Samus in Super Metroid. All right, so the newest tips were these. Well, no, these are the old ones. These are the newest ones down here. So you've vanquished the Enchantress. The fishing pond is now available. What should be the condition for this? Oh, wait. Oh, no. Because this is going to be this is just a string. We have a beat elite tip, and this has a condition here. And the condition is just that you've now beaten the new instance. think this would be like mega polish for down the line. I've seen so many people play the game though and just never close tips. And if you don't close the tip, then a new one never shows up. And what is this telling you about? The fishing pond is now available. I'm going to leave this as is for now. But I'll write this down in terms of polish somewhere. Tips. Wait, what is it? Beat elite tip? Yeah, beat elite tip. Tips for beating elite enemies. After the dragon, use this, which means they only hide themselves after you beat the regular battle at the same location. Instead, they should probably be based on building / upgrading a particular thing. That way, they don't stick around forever. Do you have tip pages? Some games you can go back to tip 1. No, we don't have that. Let's DM about this. Not worth doing for now. All right, so next, after getting the new town hall, we should have a tip saying that some new perks are available. Maybe we can say how many. How many would it be? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 and then 6. I wonder if that should just be in the upgrade strings. Last one here. Happy 3 years. Thanks for the resub. Very kind of you. And hey again, Cheeky. Yeah, I'm concerned that people won't know what this thing did when they upgrade it. Where's that code I had for testing? Here it is. Put this in instance map. Okay. Now I have a way of cheating to beat a couple of bosses. I should probably put this in the game without having to copy paste code in. Shaky, what were you looking for with hosting? All right, so here it says upgrade town hall. It says adds more perk options to most buildings. It's not even most buildings. That's not even correct. New perk options to some buildings. Yeah. So if you buy this, nothing indicates where those new perks are. Like one happened to be here. Well, I guess there is kind of something. You'll have this little dot show up when you can afford a perk. Nothing in the game tells you about that dot right now. Okay, yeah, there should probably be a tip here. All right, let's go do this. Upgraded town hall. Tip system. So we want to put this here, I guess. Upgraded town hall tip. Save this over here. All right, so what are we gonna do? This is when you upgrade the town hall. Do we ever need to subtract this thing? Yes, we do. Okay, so has... This should maybe just be a timed tip, maybe? Maybe. I am not sold on this. What would auto dismiss this, though? Getting one of the new perks, I guess. Or opening a perks board. You might accidentally do that, though. Yeah, this should maybe just be a timed tip. I think I'm convinced. How do we make such a tip? I guess we just make it go away after like a minute. All right, that's not bad. So hazmat conditions to show. I guess we need a Boolean here. Has upgraded town hall. So it'll show as soon as you upgrade this. The elapsed time is going to be time of upgrading town hall. And the condition to hide is going to be that the elapsed number of seconds is greater than 60. So we just put this here. Time on now minus that. Yeah. So it's been 60 seconds. Yeah, I think that'll work. Oh, Wem, thanks for the resub. I hadn't seen it until just now. Yeah, happy 14 months. Thought I remembered a command that lists what you use for hosting your things, like website, botland, the Adam Learns bot. So yeah, it's kind of all over the place. Bot.land is on a shared host. Abbott, which is my Twitch and Discord bot, and I guess YouTube, is on my mini PC alongside Weblate and something else. I don't remember what. And I think that's it for what I'm hosting. No, Adam Learns is on Firebase. I have anything else online? I think that's it. And then the Botland infrastructure was on AWS back in the day, but it's no longer there. It's no longer online. Surprised there isn't like a one-time yellow highlight or a visual change to buildings with new upgrades. Well, part of the reason why is because there is this menu over here. This highlights green when you have something that you can afford, and upgrades show here separately. So knowing that you can upgrade this building, it shows in this menu. But then once you've upgraded the building, like let's say you didn't read this, adds more perk options to most buildings, you wouldn't know what you just did, basically. And that's why I want this tip to show up. And that's what we're going to work on now. So when you've upgraded the town hall, we're going to set the time of upgrading town hall to now. And oh, Motorboat, thanks for the 5 gifted subs. I feel like it's getting better at gifting subs to people who are actually here, because I recognize 3 of those names. Yeah, I don't think I recognize the last. Okay, Shika has said one thing in chat before. And Floxit has said 3 things. Yeah, I don't recognize the names, unfortunately. And thank you too for subbing. Wow. Look at my chat right now. Sub, 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 sub. You'd think I was a mega streamer right now. Thank you all. Is there a reason why it's not all hosted on your mini PC? The shared host is free for me. Like a friend is paying for it. So if it's free, there's no real incentive for me to move it. That's all. That's the only reason. Waiting room for Adam Eats Live. Not gonna happen. You can specify users on Twitch when you gift. You can, although I don't think you can do it for 5 gifted subs, can you? Yeah, we all have our price. If you paid me like $1 million, I'd eat on stream. I don't know what my minimum price would be. Like if someone somehow offered $10,000, one, I'd be like, are you serious? And is there some weird perverted reason for you doing this? And 2, I'd probably say, okay, give me the money. Everyone has a price. All right, no overload matches the integer we need, int level. All I care is that you've upgraded this. And then has upgraded. We don't technically need this. Oh, yes, we do. I can offer $50. Okay, and now for the actual tip. You've upgraded your town hall, which adds perks to some of your Actually, we should probably have this stick around for like 2 or maybe 3 minutes. A lot of people won't even see it. In fact, let's just do 5 minutes. You upgraded your town hall, which adds perks to some of... I'll just say which adds some perks. Which makes some new perks available for purchase. Find new ones in the... What is it? The perks menu? Via the perks menu. And I could put in parentheses, they're generally the expensive ones. But I think that's good enough for now. All right, so now ideally we would test this. How do we test this? I guess we go to feature flags and write false here. So now we'll see tips show up, and I got a cheat, which is not related to being on a debug build, so that I can upgrade the town hall, but I won't have enough money. I did not think this through. Maybe if I continue the game, I have enough money? No, but it's already upgraded then. All right, so I got to start a new game. And then we just need to get creative about how we cheat. So we can't save. Oh man. Okay, fine. We got to actually like play through the tutorial then. This is a waste of time because there is a slightly smarter way I could have done this, but now I'm committed to this. So now let's go open up our save file. And we need to win this battle. Come on, Mage. You can do it. You can do it, Mage. And then we build the potion shop. And now as soon as this hits here, we can save. And then we set our money to 10,000. And then load. And then go build the town hall. Oh, it's already built. Wait, what? What? I think that's a bug. Huh. That's not what I was expecting to work on right now. Create town hall. Wow, look at that. Yeah, this is just wrong. If the town hall level is greater than 0, then build it. Well, cool. Okay. So let's go try that again. Greed is good. Rosebud. Okay, so now when I hit continue game, we should not have the town hall. Because I never built it in the first place. Yeah, good. So we build this. I press the debug button. We see the sign show up. I get this. And now a tip should show up saying that we have new perks available. It takes upwards of 10 seconds. Maybe 15 seconds. So we just have to wait. Or there's a bug. Ah, there it is. You've upgraded your town hall, which makes some new perks available for purchase. Find new ones via the perks menu. Okay, first of all, find new ones. Find them. You've upgraded your town hall. Is there a better word for this? Make something available. We could just say you've upgraded your town hall. Some new perks are available for purchase. Find them via the perks menu. Yeah. Hey, Jansen. You haven't acquired them, though. They're just available. Acquiring them would imply that you've purchased them, I think. But welcome in, Sinner. Have you ever read any of Lucas Pope's development blogs? I don't think so, no. Yeah. I'm going to take a quick break because an ad break is about to start anyway. which you know what that means. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, for those who can still hear me, you can type join in Twitch chat and then J and a number, and you can jump, try to make it to the top. I'll be back in a little bit. Wow, the competition. It's getting fierce in here. No way. Yeah, I saw that right at the end. Any jump would have done it. Oh well. Your jump guy bugged out. Was it in a like a really bad way, or was it just a joke? Because I can look at the bug potentially if you think it was a bug. But for now, close the game. It was spinning. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. It was like permanently spinning. I think it's like a super rare thing that happened or can happen. All right, anyway, I think this is pretty decent. Let's check this in. We could have 2 of these tips show up. I'll just leave it at this. Okay. I'm just that good. It's all a Red Bull in your system. All right, let's go check all that in. Oh yeah, this fixes a pretty important bug. Let's do that. Fix bug with loading a save file. It would always create a town hall even if you hadn't built one yet. All right, so I don't want to check an instance map, but I do want to check this in, and this, and this. Any unused code in here? No, I don't think so. and it should still be showing up here, but it's going to automatically dismiss itself. Oh, no, it's not. I closed it. I should have tested that. Oh, well. What editor is this? This is VS Code. Can give you wings. Sometimes it makes you spin uncontrollably. Add tip after upgrading Town Hall. Okay. Next up, item stacking should probably cost a lot more. Item stacking. So it's 500. Let's start at 750. How about that? And let's make the next one pretty expensive. Yeah. Increase cost of item stacking. Bloop, bloop. Done. See whether we should show bosses. I'm not going to do that. Special keys should cost more. Didn't I already increase the cost of that? Special key rarity. What is this called? Key rarity. Oh, yeah. No, I did not do this. 500 is it's insultingly low. It's an insult. I'm insulted. But what do we set it to? Let's do a 50% increase for now. I'm not sure about this upgrade. Select adventurer. I don't think this is even good. I think you get too many items for you to care about any particular adventurer. Does this work in challenge mode? Bone mode? Nope. Apparently doesn't. Oh, that's a shame. This took a lot of code to do. I don't want to just lose it all. But I don't think it's a very good perk. We could just make it cheap if it's not very good. But I don't think it's interesting almost at all. And I'll show what this does and why it's not interesting. So here's the issue. This is the treasure room. When you buy a treasure chest, it comes with 3 items inside. They're just randomly chosen. So here we got the warrior, golem, and paladin. Great. So those will level up those characters when we eventually open this chest. But then this perk lets you select what you will guarantee will be inside the chest. So if I pick mage here. Oh, I guess it changes all of the items inside. Okay, that's better than I thought. I didn't even remember it did that. Or that was pure luck. I guess we don't know for sure. So let's open these and then try again. If it's all mage items each time, then we can be pretty reasonably sure that it is. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's setting all 3. And I think if you get this upgrade, lots of loot, you'll actually start with 8 of that item in there. Yeah, oh, okay. So this is a worthwhile investment. I didn't realize. All right, never mind. So I should probably change the description then, right? Allows you to select which adventures. Oh, no, it's still kind of accurate. And it should work with auto purchasing. So if I turn on auto purchasing, then these will just be mage chests after this too. No, that is a bug. Auto purchase can be a bit cheaper. So bug auto purchasing chests doesn't remember which adventurer you chose for them. I think we have this written down somewhere. I'm going to check this part in though first. Rebalance cost of treasure perks. Done. All right, so what's causing this problem? Is it in the display that even does this? Select adventure, set up party section. And do we save this in the save file? If I hit save right now, what happens? Select adventure, last chosen adventurer class. Oh, neat. Yeah, this is set correctly. So then what's going wrong? What is going wrong? I don't even know. There's auto purchase from somewhere. Treasure room. Process. Grant free chest. Auto purchase. Here it is. Purchase treasure chest. If party section is not null. Oh, I see. We don't want to do that. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We just get rid of this and set this to here. Oh, but the party section is a dialogue, and the dialogue might not exist. Ooh, okay, let's back out of that for a second. Instead of none, how about we just set this to whatever is currently selected over here? Does that even exist? It does. Easy, easy peasy. The name does not exist in the current context. What? Oh, no. We don't save this anywhere, do we? Last chosen party member. Oh, there it is. I wonder if this is enough to fix this. We set it to none by default, and we change it when what happens? When you click an adventurer. All right, I think this will work. How did caffeine impact you? I got very jittery. It definitely woke me up and made me feel more energized. But I think it had a pretty strong lasting impact on me in that if I had caffeine, and I don't fully remember, it's been a long time since I've had caffeine, but I think if I would have it at like, let's say 6 or 7 p.m., I think I'd have a hard time sleeping that night. But yeah, I just didn't want to be stuck in the cycle of having caffeine all the time. All right, so open these. Auto purchasing will buy 2 new ones that now should have mage stuff in them. Yep, yep. Now, if we turn off auto purchasing, then we'll be able to change this. So let's pick Golem and Paladin. And now it's Golem and Paladin stuff. And let's turn on auto purchasing and open these. And it's still Golem and Paladin stuff. Now let's try in a new game. It's pretty normal. Someone who has like 3 cups a day tend not to have it past 3. So you have 3 cups of coffee before 3 o'clock. How does it know to auto purchase them specifically? Because that's what you would have chosen last. What keyboard is that? This is a corn keyboard. And welcome to the stream. Okay, so we got to pick this. No, wait, no. I don't want to pick that first. I want to just buy some treasure chests. So let's save this and buy. And this should have random stuff in it. I think it just happened to pick 3 of the same item at first. I don't think that's anything other than a coincidence. Yeah. So it's a bunch of random stuff in here. And then I'm going to get selective loot. Even just getting that should just give me random stuff still. Especially if I pick random. But if I pick archer, it should just have archer quivers. And then if I auto buy on these, where's auto buy? There. Turn this on. Now it's random and archer. Then if I turn this off, I can change this to something else. Warrior, for example. And I think if we just say maybe later and then turn on auto buying, it'll still be the warrior. Yeah, nice. Okay. I think that's good. What if you upgrade without ever choosing? Yeah, the default is random. Only drink 1 if even that. You know, I think it's pretty easy to work into a pattern of like, I'm tired, so then drink coffee or something like that, or soda or tea or whatever. It's just a thing, like have caffeine. And then if it happens again later in the day, you again go to your whole like, okay, well, I'll have another cup of coffee. And if this is working for you, then great. I'm not trying to convince you not to do that. But my problem was that it was sort of a reason to not just fix your sleep problem. Like I had a sleep problem in that case, which is just I wasn't going to bed on time. I'd stay up late, then I'd wake up too early. Then I'd be like, okay, well, I'll fix this with caffeine. It just didn't feel healthy to me. Oh, that was the other problem. I sometimes, I don't even know how to describe this. It's been like 15 years since I've had this, but I felt like something was wrong with my heart. I don't know if it was arrhythmia or something, but yeah, that was unpleasant whenever that would happen. I don't want to be reminded of my mortality on a daily basis. Well, and another 72 times. Hey, Bresel. I don't really use it for the waking factor. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I like it for the ritual, I guess. I think that's kind of cool. My wife is forever bothered that I don't have coffee because she really likes coffee and wants to go discover coffee shops. And I'm also like, a lot of coffee shops just don't have anything for me as a result of that. And some of them have baked goods that are pretty good, but I'm also very strict about my sugar intake. All right, well, this is pretty easy to fix. Fix bug with auto purchasing chest. It wouldn't respect your last selected adventure, so you couldn't auto purchase chests filled with, say, mage items. Yeah, it was like the worst to go out with. Went cold turkey on caffeine a few weeks ago. Wow, what prompted that, Athletics? And how's it been going? Probably well if it's been a few weeks, because I think most of the cravings happen in the first week, right? Dad had to drink coffee. Oh my God, quit drinking coffee because of the effect it had on his heart per cardiologist orders. Yeah. I heard a decaf nerd. What a nerd. This guy hasn't heard of decaf. You could try the water. Actually, funnily enough, I guess I usually bring water to coffee shops, but yeah, I could. I used to take a certain delight in getting water from Starbucks, thinking, ha, those fools, they took some employee time, gave me a plastic cup and a straw. I'm costing this company money. Fools. Then I realized I don't care that much. It's work time or workout time. Yeah, that's one thing that I think would really help is if I only had it for workouts, I'd probably do better workouts. I can sort of feel my heart pounding, get more anxious and very aware. Let's just stick to soda amount of caffeine. Although soda amounts of caffeine can still be a lot, right? How much caffeine is in Coke? Oh, that's not bad. Okay, never mind. But how much sugar is in Coke is bad. It's more grams of sugar than it is milligrams of caffeine. Should never happen. All right, I'm always hungry. Isn't a very interesting upgrade at the end of the game. Most interesting very early on. Yeah, I wonder if we just throw this in early on, what would happen? Would players even want it? Because I set this to some ludicrous cost over here. I don't think this is good. I'll add more caffeine to my Coke. Just 15 milligrams. Then it'd be 40, and then you'd be fine. Or I don't remember the exact numbers anymore. But yeah, 5 or 15. So if we move this, the very start of the game will look a little bit different. And it might be too many options. And, So we get the garbage slime. And right now we only have 4 options. What's going on with the cursor? There we go. So if we add in I'm always hungry here, just to be clear, the way that this works, I'm always hungry, is the minimum hunger amount is one of these numbers. And it's for level 0, 1, and 2. So when you don't have it at all, the minimum hunger is 0. So when you feed the garbage slime, this bar can drop down to, I didn't mean to make that many workers. This bar can drop down to dark green. And now you're only getting 1 gold per item. And also it's going to take you a lot longer for it to refill, of course. But if we set the minimum hunger to 30% and you got a perk for it, then I think you'd be offered 2 gold for those items. I'm not actually sure. And it wouldn't take as long to refill. Well, like I said, this is kind of just an early game perk. I don't like this idea. If we added this, it would need to cost very little, since it only pays off when you can't do anything else with the items. Alternatively, we could buff the values. So instead of 0%, 15, 30, it could be like 0, 25, 50. That's a pretty big change. I don't know how I feel about this. There is one other scenario where this can help. The one other scenario is that you have the garbage time perk, which makes workers holding an item for too long feed it to the garbage slime. And then you don't upgrade your shops. Or something like that. I don't think it's very interesting. Or we could combine, we could make this a late game thing. Could make this a late game thing and buff the numbers. I hadn't thought of that. I thought we'd buff this and make it early game. But if we make this a late game one, 50% might be too much. Let's try it. Start a new game. Designing and balancing all the perks seems so fun. Designing the perks is pretty fun. Balancing them, I don't think it's too bad right now because these are perks that are not for battle. So it's like we know all the scenarios of how you get items and how you sell items and kind of how the numbers work out a bit. So this isn't too bad. All right, so I want to fully upgrade this. I need money. I want to fully upgrade this and this. And then what else? I think that's it. I guess we get... Huh, that's funny. Okay. So now what do? I get a bunch of items and we try feeding these to the garbage slime. So I'm just going to mash 2 here and we're going to see how much money do we get. Oh wait, I didn't upgrade this. Where's the upgrade? Yeah, here. Okay. So how much money do we get for the cheapest amount? It's never giving less than 2 and it's usually giving 5. So the average payout is 0.45 times 1.2, 54%. That's not right. What am I talking about? No, that's over the total value. This is 2.2. I'm missing something here. Missing something here. What is it? Maybe I'm not missing anything. Maybe it just looked like it was critting more than it is. Yeah. Okay, this is interesting math. So I think if I'm correct here, it's always better to feed something to the garbage slime once you get this perk. Because it's going to sell immediately and it's usually going to give you the same value. The only thing that might throw that off is shiny loot. Yes, that definitely throws this off. All right, I'm going to keep this exactly how it is and stop talking about it. This is, I guess I have to talk about it to write it in the list. This is so tricky. At the beginning of the game, you tend to have more items than customers slash shop space. So it would probably make sense to give this perk to you then. However, once you max the critical ability, the average expected value is 100% of the item value when the slime is at 30% hunger. Wait, no, that's not true. Oh, God. Oh, this is so difficult. 2. Yeah. That's correct. Yeah. When you have shiny loot, it can work out to 135% when you get a sale. Yeah. If we change the bonus minimum hunger by practically anything, there's a way to figure out what this would work out to, right? How do you figure this out? 30% when you know the value of the item, and there's some way to compute this. How do you do this? Hunger reduction, scrap percent value per hunger. So this is 0.014 times 30. This is 42% of the value of an item, which is normally 3, and it rounds up. Is that correct? So this isn't even true what I'm talking about. It's just that math.ceiling on 1.26 makes it 2, so it's a gigantic boost for you. It's like practically doubling the value of the item. But if I took a valuable item, that wouldn't be the case anymore. All right, let me think about that again. 42%. Let's say we had an item worth 100. It'd be 42. And then we multiply by our expected value. So you're getting 42% of the value of the item. And it just doesn't work that way with small potions because we're doubling it afterward. All right, I think we can increase this slightly. Is that a critical eat? I think a critical eat is when you have the perfect bite of food. Like you're having an ice cream sundae and you got all the right ratios of toppings in one spoonful. That's a critical eat. Change the bonus minimum hunger by practically anything. So this isn't even true. All right, this is tricky. It changes the calculus on the slime. And I don't feel like figuring this out. Why did I say 30%? This isn't how this works. I don't feel like doing this. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. It's surprisingly complex. It changes the time it takes to recharge to full, and a lot of the game is based around that. Is caffeine something you'd ever revisit? You know what I miss is Dr. Pepper. And I gave up everything that is Dr. Pepper. I gave up soda, I gave up carbonated beverages, and I gave up caffeine. So I basically couldn't have it for a number of reasons at this point. They're all self-imposed restrictions, but still, it's been like 15 years since I've had one, so I'm not going to have one again. But I always think, like, if I knew, okay, you got 7 days to live, would I try this again? Would I even enjoy it? So is the caffeine something I'd ever revisit? Probably not. I think I'm better off without it. It's disgusting. Made yourself a favor. Oh, it's disgusting. Made yourself a favor. A lot of people outside of the US apparently say this about root beer as well. Do you like root beer, Kevin? There's something about the flavor of these that people don't like. Is it sarsaparilla? Dr. Pepper main flavor. What is it that people don't like about it? I'm not reading this article. Yeah, I can't stand for this root beer slander. Root beer is even worse. Yeah, so that's the kind of thing I hear from people who were not born in the US. Not that every American likes it, but I think on average more Americans would like it than, say, Spanish people would. It's just incredibly sweet, feels like candy. Yeah, yeah. I've had to stop caffeine recently because of my meds. If I do take it, my heart goes into some kind of tango. Drives me nuts. Really, really miss chocolate, though. Yeah, I still have chocolate. I know there's a natural amount of caffeine in there. I don't I don't find this like weird to justify. I don't typically have like large amounts of chocolate. Root beer is not beer, no. It's a soda. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think I would revisit that. I'm trying to think what would I revisit? I have a lot of like weird dietary restrictions I've imposed on myself. But I don't know. I like the random restrictions. I live my life. Witch Doctor is like the plant boss killer. They don't deal any direct damage, so they don't take thorns damage. Maybe the plant seed shot should prioritize the Witch Doctor. Should we even do this? Fly trap. It has powerful thorns that return damage to attackers. It shoots a leeching seed every so often, and its vines can weaken enemies. Oh wait, I wonder how does summon zombie work? Does it base it on your current power level? Summoner battle stats. I don't know how this works. Does this include buffs? It doesn't. Wait a second. Doesn't this mean there's a big problem in the game? Yeah, I think this is wrong and dumb and wrong, but especially dumb. I think what I meant to do here is this. Get power of the summoner. What do we call the summoner? Entity? Yeah, entity. Yeah, I think that's what I meant to do. And technically, wouldn't we need stat computations that get fortitude? There's just base. So how does this work? We get their base power, which is what I was getting before, which probably just fetches it from the component. Yes, it does. And then we add in all the benefits you get. Well, 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 well. This is going to buff the Witch Doctor. But I don't know by how much. How could they have gotten a power buff in the first place? The Spirit Caller using the dog. Which would be a very minor buff. Is there any other way they can get a buff? Oh yeah, Mushy dies. Oh my goodness. Okay. Huh. Is there any other buff that they can get? The mage does not give buffs to anybody else. The warrior does not. The cleric gives life steal. The Spirit Caller can give power, dodge. Yeah, power and dodge. Mushy can give power. The paladin can give damage reduction. Archer doesn't do anything. Rogue doesn't do anything. Well, it does something to the enemies, I think. Yeah. The Witch Doctor is already the Witch Doctor. And the Golem doesn't do anything. How do you learn to draw stuff? I don't know. I am very bad at drawing. None of these graphics are graphics that I made. Okay, well, this is a nice little change, but this doesn't address my problem that I had, which is that the plant boss is really, really bad against the Witch Doctor. In fact, can we try this? Can we put killer fly trap? What's going on right now? Why can't I play this thing again? Oh, because I don't have an adventure in my party. Yeah, great. Okay, so let's put that and that and that and that. Oh, I have 2 more points. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, now we fight the killer fly trap. 1-on-1. I want to see what happens here. Oh, never mind. Battle over. Oh, hi, cat. Yeah. So they got 1 shot. And they got 1 shot again. There should be a somewhat low chance of that happening on the very first attack. Do you want to come sit down, cat? Come on, come sit down. Hi, yes, I'm right here. Abby, do you want to come over? All right, well, for those who haven't met Abby, this is Abby. She's our most favoritist cat. All right, so what we should do to test this is we should set them to level 1. Do you want to sit? Oh, she's purring. Beautifully colored cat, yeah. Very pretty cat. Okay, lay down. Lay down so I can get back to doing this stuff. Come on. Yep, ease it on down. Scratch your ear. Okay. Sit. Sit. Good cat. All right, so how do we do this? We gotta set the level to 1, I guess. Where do we do that? Where do we do this? Battler? I don't even know. I have to take a picture of this. Cat. Okay, now let me show you the picture. This is, oh, okay. Well, I don't have to use the keyboard anymore. She just came over and rested her head directly on my wrist. Very hard to use a computer like that. I want to find an easier way to test this. I just don't know where. Maybe Battler. I guess we could just delete this. Yeah, there we go. Inside only cat. Yeah, she's just inside only. She's never gone outside. Well, I mean, she did once. And thankfully, she got scared and came back in. She might have gotten scared and gone back outside. Probably never would have gotten her back. Okay, let's see. You're level 20 and you have all the skills. Okay, good. So I should be able to fight the plant boss and not have it do 1,000 damage at once. Because I think we are practically guaranteed to win this fight. How much do they do now? I guess we're not guaranteed to win. Okay, well, they're still very powerful. And if all you do is you throw in the cleric as well, I bet then they would win. Let me try this. Put the cleric in there, and we'll give the cleric 1 ability. There. So now, oh, that didn't work. So now the cleric won't be targeted because of Shield of Unity, and they'll only ever heal the witch doctor. Oh, but then they take damage every time they attack. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. So do they win this fight over a long enough period of time? No, I don't think so. But that's okay because we didn't give them any skills. If we do this and, oh, I guess every time we heal, though, we're going to take damage ourselves. I didn't think about this. So I guess, I guess we do that. Does that work? This is a very interesting fight. No, so the cleric can't heal herself because she does damage every time she heals. How did we win this fight earlier? I guess just because we had other characters damaging this. Audrey 2, indeed. Feed me. Speaking of feed me, yeah, it's 320. Okay. Catso needs to be fed at like 4. Okay, I'm not going to do anything about this. If a player discovers this, then that's okay. And if a player discovers this one, that's probably okay too. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to do anything about this stuff. cat. She's holding the P key down. What was I gonna say? I think this is an okay discovery for the player to make. Same thing with this. All right, so these are the most recent playtest things. Well, we haven't gotten this list down to nothing yet, but there aren't that many more things. I'll put this timeline thing here too. So it's one more tiny bug to fix. And then this, which was just kind of an idle comment. Final few areas go by pretty quickly. I don't think there are enough new things during that time, so I think it's okay. It does feel like you auto battle a lot. If we want to slow things down, yeah, I'm going to just put this on this list too. Idle observation. Store these here too, even though it's not really a to-do item. I think I've got to do some work on the weekend. Yeah. All right, well, let's try to get this bug done. Maybe we can figure out what's doing this. Is it just when you load the game and don't do anything else? No. What about if I click continue game? Also, no. Not if I click around. What if I go to bone mode and start a scenario there? No. What? What causes this? It says loading save data from CM save, and then it says there's an error. I guess this is unrelated then. Index is out of bounds. Set item checked in a pop-up menu. What pop-up menus do we have? Game settings. That's it. It's just game settings. So it must be when we open the game settings. Strange. Item size is 0. We don't even have any other pop-up menus in the game, right? Yeah, weird. Well, I guess I didn't actually open one of these. Music interval, window mode, and language menu. Those are the only ones we have. This one, and this one. And opening them doesn't do anything. I wonder how we get that to happen. I'm just going to click all these things and see, does anything happen here? No. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't cause any like major breaking issues. I can't get this to repro. Well, actually, I do have a save file that had a problem. I don't think it's related to this. The error has to do with a pop-up, but those only exist in the settings UI. And I can't, yeah. Okay, well, then let's delete this from here. Okay. I did bump this, so this is already done. Yeah, so some of the last things we need to do are, yeah, this cleanup stuff. So as an example, I think the waterways enemies look like fiery enemies. Well, they don't necessarily, but they kind of do. If I speed this up, so we have the red worms and the blue slimes, and then, yeah, like a bunch of red skeletons and stuff. So yeah, we could make the enemies look a little bit more fitting for where they show up. Same thing with the items. Does the game autosave while the settings menu is open? Not sure if that could cause a menu to refresh or something like that. That's a good point. We have a different issue here, but if I just clear this. I wonder if we do that, if we could make it happen more often. Well, I could just leave this for now. It should eventually say that it loaded from a save file. Wait, it wouldn't load from a save file, though. It would have been saving to one. Where does this even happen? We only load this on the main screen, right? Metrics uploader. Upload metrics. What engine am I on? This is Godot. Welcome in, Zenkai. Show end screen. Yeah, this is for bone mode. So we don't use this at least. And then the only other place we load from the save file there should have been as save file load challenge mode data. Where's this get called from? I think it's from main. I think we do this early on to see if you have the data at all. Title screen does it. Yeah, strange. I don't know. But like I said, it didn't seem to really cause a problem anyway. Okay, so make sure enemy graphics make sense. And then make sure items make sense. We get fire swords from the waterways. Do we have anything that looks better than that, maybe? Yeah, we can just pick one of these other swords. It's just a graphical change. And it's not like we've used, you know, this many of the items and we really have to rearrange stuff. There are plenty of items we haven't used at all. Yeah. Okay, so let's check these things in. This is fix bug in summon zombie. We were summoning a zombie based on the witch doctor's base power, not their current power. Any power buffs would have, well, or debuffs, would have been ignored. This we should not check in. And this we should not check in. Okay, well, I said it'd be about a couple hours after I came back from lunch because I streamed for quite a while in the morning. Yeah. Pretty much made it to 6 hours. I'm going to fill out the journal. Playtested worked on issues. No, this is already correct. Okay, well, I wanted to have this list done by the end of today. I don't know. It's not a huge deal that it's not. There are a few things now that we got to start focusing on for next week. Where is it? Yeah, localization and art requests. I want to start getting the rest of the content filled in for this stuff. And I want to ask people to play test it too. So one of the things, for example, that we have over here, this map looks like a mess because I moved a bunch of locations around and all the locations had a path going through in a very specific way. So as an example here, the forest, we have the path coming through the bottom left and going out the top. And you can actually see the path going through the forest. This specific shape has a graphic for when the location is unlocked and when it's not unlocked. And once I moved all the locations around, I broke how these paths would align. So we need to fix the paths. We need to get new locations for these. The rest of that looks, you know, pretty much fine. Abby's meowing up a storm. So yeah, I think that'll be it for today. I did throw a lot of bricks at that task wall. They somehow stuck. All right. Oh, Oik is still streaming? Let's go raid Oik. Oh, wait, no. Oik is playing Satisfactory now. Never mind. I didn't know he was doing game dev. I'm going to raid for Ormond. I hope you all have a good weekend. I will be back on Monday. It should be a full day, and we should be working on either probably localization stuff or something else. I don't know what. Anyway, I'm a little tired. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here. And say hi to Fairwoman for me. See ya.